Okay. Area is pretty clear there. This perpetually stained table. Okay. Let me share my screen. Da da da. Let's see. Make it any bigger. There we go. Okay. So a little bit of my other video is unlisted because my kids are in it. More so than Stephanie was with the cat hat. But I've gotten a fair amount of work done. Got a nice, here's all the purple, or the pink ones from the unlisted video I did. So they're all done. All nice and ends are woven in. I got quite a fair stack now of the white ones. I'll show you what that looks like. Oh no, there's blue on it. Here we go. So there's my little necklace of white squares finished. And then I have the black squares I've been working on, and then the white squares I've been working on. So as I finish it, I'm not sure which ones I'll weave in first. I've got some blocking stuff. I am a terrible crocheter. I know you're supposed to block squares and stuff like that, but typically don't. I definitely did not block this one. I probably should have, but I kind of like the way it's when you don't block, of course, it doesn't look as polished, but I will say that this looks more organic and warm. I'm sure that blocking it would have still been the same way because as you put things in it, it stretches and it's never going to stay in that, perfectly blocked setup, but still. Anyway, let me move this because I want support. There we go. All right, what do I want to do first? Got my white yarn, I got my black yarn. Okay, 1 second. Come on. Someone needs help tying a knot, and I am the only parent alive. Oh, no, that's right. Daddy's taking a shower. Stop. Back up. Thank you. 1 second. I'm going to just, okay. Hand it to me. Now go leave the room and go put on pants. Jesus Christ. This is a big bracelet, Stephanie. Are you sure you want it this big? Okay, well, I'm going to have to take some off. She doesn't leave me enough room to not. Can I take off 6 beads? Okay, thank you. Okay, maybe now I can start. This is why I don't make any progress. All right, Munchkin.
I'm making that one.
You were wearing pants not 5 minutes ago. What happened?
I just want to tell you that I'm making that one for one of my kids' drawing teachers.
Okay. All right, well, let me see if it'll fit me. I thought it was for yeah, it should fit depending on which kid's drawing teacher it is. It should fit. All right, go.
Mm-hmm.
Shut the door, please. Okay, let's try this again. Oh gosh, decisions. Well, you know what? I will start by weaving in. I don't have to make a decision right away. Sometimes it's nice to not have to make a decision. There we go. And I think the first live stream I did on this cat blanket, or maybe it was sort of the very word tutorial for the cat hat, but I had mentioned we were getting ready to go on a trip. Well, my son got pink eye before the trip, so we were not able to go on the trip. We had to cancel everything, and it happens. At least we got travel credit from Southwest, which was nice, and then we got almost a complete refund from the car rental agency. So we ended up having to eat $100, and we're gonna schedule our trip for later in this next year. But things happen. We figured it out though. So like he got pink eye Christmas Day. By the end of Christmas Day, as I was all inflamed and I was like, yo, it's pink eye. And we couldn't figure it out because they haven't been around kids. They haven't been around other kids. Um, no one else had pink eye, and my kids will occasionally get the allergic conjunctivitis, which is where you get pink eye from just excessive allergies, and it's not contagious. But you typically get them in both eyes at the same time. He only had it in one eye, which indicated to me that it's going to be either viral or bacterial. Put this in there. Yay, we got the first one done completely all the way. Oh, this is another skein. I thought I had this prepped to like put this on, but I do not. Oh, I'm gonna take this off. My posture's been atrocious lately, so I have one of those like posture things on right now. But now I'm too hot, and I'm sitting at a chair, so hopefully my posture's a little bit better. But I've done overheated myself. There it is. So there's the one I have set up. Put the black one on it. All right. Anyway, so I was trying to figure it out. Who has he been around? What kids has he been around that would have given him pink eye? And I remember Tuesday, spur of the moment, my husband took the kids up to his grandmother's. I came after work, and she lives next to a lake. Well, as kids do, he was playing in the lake, and as kids do, they touch their face without washing their hands. So the best I can guess is that he was playing in the water, rubs his eye, goes back to playing in the water, rubs his eye, and you can absolutely get pink eye from lake water. So I have a feeling that's what happened. It gives the bacteria long enough to incubate in his eye or whatever. So yeah, because it happens. It's just, frustrating when someone's been looking forward to the trip since October, but it's fine. Why not? Go. Leave this in. And I guess on the plus side, it's given me time to work on projects. Also, I don't have to work away from my computer station. I was going to have to work remotely, but now I don't have to, which is nice. There we go. There we go. Okay. Got a couple other projects. As most crocheters and probably even people who knit and felt and cross stitch and embroider and all that, they probably have more than one project, at least if they're anything like me and some of the other people who I know. That's second one done. But I have multiple projects in progress right now, right? One of them, I am crocheting a cover for my heating pad because the little cover that it came with just slips all over the place. So I'm doing a moss stitch, a chunky moss stitch for that one. I always keep it on low heat, so I'm not worried about burning down the house. Plus it has the timer, so I'm okay with it. Then I'm working on the sort of Aurora Borealis type. It's not really, because Aurora Borealis I think would have more. Well, maybe. But cat hat with this pattern of, yarn. This is going to take a while because it's so thin, and I'm using a 3.5 millimeter hook. So it's going to take a while. Working on this blanket for my brother, and then I also have plans to do a cat hat for one of my daughter's school friends, and then I'm also working on a cauldron witch, which is basically, it looks like a cauldron, but you pop it and it's actually a little witch, so it's kind of cute. All right, let's weave this one in. Maybe I can get I was thinking about that. So like, it's pretty easy for me if I'm in a car somewhere and I have a hook. That's all I really need to make these squares. I just can't weave them in because I'll, do the wrap, pop, rip it, rip the yarn if I don't have scissors. So that way I can move on to the next one that I want to make. So it may just end up being that a lot of these live streams are just me weaving in the ends. And I was talking to one of my brothers, not the one who I'm making this blanket for, but I was talking to one of my brothers, my second youngest. And I was telling him how my mom was so excited that I got over 2,000 views on one of the little shorts that I did earlier this week, and how she thinks I can be a YouTuber. Well, unfortunately, Mom, I don't have the technical prowess to do any of that stuff, and there's already plenty of other people in the crochet sphere, and they know how to play the algorithm and all that. But it was funny, actually. I typically don't like watching them because, well, I mean, if anyone ever stumbles on this who isn't part of my family, you would know that, and you're familiar with crochet videos and stuff like that. It's always like, and they touch the screen and then boom, it's done, and oh, look how great, and here's my pattern. It's $30 on my Etsy or my Ko-Fi or whatever. And it's great because crocheters know how long it takes. Here's another one, so number 3. Crocheters know how long things take. They know how long things take for them, and they can generally tell on average how long things will average take for other crocheters, the normal run-of-the-mill crocheters. So we already know what goes into the building of a project. But I have seen a few where they're like, they set up their camera and then they speed up they do a time lapse of the video. And I think that helps better really drive home how long it takes for something to get made. But I kind of like the idea of having this, even if it's only for me and my family and for my brother to see the progress. But I think there's kind of a disservice being done to the wider crochet community when you just have this sort of like, it skips through and here it is and oh, it's completed. And people's like, okay, so that probably only took her a day. So why is she charging me $500 for this intricate, blanket? Or why is he charging me, $300 for this bespoke sweater with this cool pattern? Like, people don't understand really the time that it goes into these things. And then, they end up going to craft fairs and they see some little stuffed animal, some little amigurumi, and they're like, oh, I can get a big amigurumi or a big stuffed animal from Walmart for $10. So why are they trying to charge me, $20 for this little thing when I can get something so much bigger? And then they just move on. It's because you're not just buying the product, you are exchanging your money for the person's time. Like, I'm never getting this time back. Every second that ticks by here while I'm working on this, that's a second of my life that I chose to use for this. And when people are doing that as a job, they're being a professional crocheter. Oh, wow, number 4, cool. They're being a professional crocheter, that is, they can't live unless they get paid for it. And at the very least, they should be getting paid minimum wage. Now, of course, when you have crocheters that crochet very slow because they're beginners, I don't think, and this is a completely personal opinion, I don't feel like they should charge for every hour that they're working on something because they're being slow. So what might take an average crocheter 2 hours to make, it could take a beginner 4 hours to make. And then the problem is the beginner wants to do the calculations where it's like, okay, well, it took me 4 hours. Here's my yarn cost. This is what I want to pay myself as a profit. So this is what I'm going to charge for it. And they'll sell something, say like that, the hat. I really love this version of it. I'm so glad I made this one. This is like, call it my Gengar hat because you can't tell because of the camera, but it actually is about the color of Gengar, my boy. I put my hair up, so I can't have it on my head right now. But anyway, that took me probably an hour to make, right? Including the color changes. And it may take a beginner crocheter to make the exact same thing the exact same way I did it, maybe 2 hours, right? But the problem is if I make it and it takes me an hour and my materials were $5 and I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to pay cut for my regular job. So I'll only take, I'll take $10 an hour, or even if I did minimum wage, right? So then I'm going to charge between $12 to $15 for that hat if I don't want to have any profit, right? Because when you pay yourself, that is part of your cost of goods sold. That's your production cost. Anything after that is a profit. Anyway, yeah, so I would sell it for $12, $15. Then you have someone who they're starting out, they still want to get paid the same per hour that I do. And so, it took them 2 hours. So now they're going to charge $25. If you're walking through craft fair and you see the hat for $15 from one person, and then you see the exact same hat, basically $25 from another person, who are you buying from? So I think beginning crocheters who are looking to make this sort of a full-time thing need to take that into consideration. But again, that's my opinion. Number 5's done, and which means it doesn't mean that it's good for everybody. It doesn't mean that it's a good fit, and it doesn't even mean that it's right. It's just my opinion on it. When I first started out, I would just make things for people. And then as I got better and better and people started offering to pay me for things, I knew how long blankets take me, and I knew how long amigurumi took me, and I knew that if I charged even half of minimum wage, and I'm a pretty fast crocheter, as I say while I'm knotting this thing together, I'm a pretty fast crocheter. I'd say I'm slightly above average. But I would tell them like, hey, no, my gift to you will be my time. If you really want to pay, you can reimburse me for the yarn. So that way, at least I'm doing something that I love as a hobby, and I'm not out the yarn cost. So it's basically net zero to me. I'm getting to do something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy just, doing this stuff over and over again and again and again. So they basically fund my hobby. But I have been thinking a lot lately about leaving. Oh, I think I hear children. Is the door shut?
Sorry.
Okay, no. Stay there, stay there, stay there. What is it you need to tell me?
Can you let us play on your Nintendo on Mario Kart?
Nope. Today is Sunday. No electronics today.
What do we do?
Well, you can keep making those friendship bracelets, or you can work on organizing your room. There's other things you can do. You have games. You've got toys. You've got lots of things, okay? All right, shut the door, please. Thank you. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, like, I don't know. All right, so there's number 6. Boop. I'm moving right along. Where's number 7? Yay, number 7. Wow, this will be nice. I'll have these 7 complete. I wonder if I can try and get to 100 white ones done today. Just done in general. But I think one of my things, because I have to make this blanket manageable for me. I think one of the things I should do is if I'm videoing, like live streaming, it'll be a rule where I have to weave in the ends of the square before I can work on another square. And then if I'm out and about, whatever I weave and put in, that will have to get done. Maybe in the alternating. I like the alternating where every one that I weave in, I get to make another square and weave that one in, because it gives me some variety. And it's weird. I like doing things over and over and over and over again, RuneScape. But I do occasionally like a little bit of variety. So it's not. I was in town yesterday for a couple hours, and they're really bad with cedar, so I'm struggling. I'm struggling with cedar allergies on the 28th of December. Jeez. Okay. Let me see. I wonder what the weather's like today. Let's check real quick. High of 75. We got a low of 50. Oh, wow. Tuesday's going to be cold. Oh, gosh, really? Monday and Tuesday are going to be cold. Low on Tuesday is going to be 35. High on Friday is going to be 80. Yuck. All right. So that was number 7. We did it. We did it, boys. I feel like that penguin from Madagascar. There we go. All right. So that is all 7 of the black squares all woven in. So now I will move back to the white squares. Okay, let me just pop that in. Nice. Okay, so now starts I am going to alternate between weaving in the ends and making new ones. So let me just get my little stack. How many do I have? I've got 16. So I'm just going to check that count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Yay! I did the count right. So 16, I'm going to put them off to the side of my mouse. Here's my yarn ends jar. There's some purple in here from the hat that I made. All right. So we will start by making a new one. I think that's the fastest I've woven in 7 ends, 7 of these square ends. 3. Oh, it was cool. So crocheters, should anyone ever watch this, right, would understand this, but I went to Michael's art store yesterday to go take a look at whatever yarn deals they have and maybe pick up something for yet another work in progress type project. And they had their yarn buy one, get one 50% off. Cool. while I was there and I was picking out a yarn, someone had left one of those Clover yarn hooks, a 9mm, in with the yarn. So they, I guess, just first wanted it, and then they decided they didn't want it. And they left it there, and I was like, well, I don't have a good 9mm hook, because this brand that I got from Amazon, only goes up to 8mm in their selection, in the little kit that I got, which is fine because not a lot of people do the bulkier yarns with hooks. I think it gets to a point where you just end up finger crocheting. But yeah, so I was like, you know what, I'll get that. I know they're like $14 because they're Clover hooks, so of course they're going to be, which is crazy because the $14 for one hook is the price of the entire little kit of these that I got from. Did I say less? I meant more. I'm not sure, but it is more than this entire kit that I got from Amazon. But they're good hooks, so they're worth it, right? So before I decide to buy it, right, I look on their website and they have a coupon for 30% off a regular priced item. I went and I found the Clover hooks to make sure they weren't on sale, so that at least I get the 30% off discount. If they were like 10% off, I wasn't even going to bother with it, right? So I've got 4 skeins of black yarn. The black yarn I have here, it's loops and thread. I got 2 skeins of this really nice purple that I made one of a hood with. I really like this. It's very nice. You can't really tell, but it has like, oh yeah, you can. It's like textured in terms of color. There's like dark bits and then there's lighter bits. What's that called? Tweed? I don't know, but it's very soft. Got 2 of those, 4 of the black ones, and then I got the hook. And then I go to check out at the register and I use my coupon. And I'm like, you know what? I get emails from time to time from Michaels about the voucher. And I know I had read one a couple days back that was due to expire. It was going to expire yesterday or it was going to expire today. So I checked my emails again. I found it. And normally my little gift vouchers are only $5 at a time. This one was $25. So between the 30% off on the hook and then the buy one, get one 50% off on the yarn, my total before the voucher was $33. So for $6, I got 6 big old skeins of yarn and a Clover crochet hook. So it was like if I went with a 50% off coupon, I just bought the Clover hook. So I was very, very happy about that. It's like a little win for me. Man, I know how annoying it is to hear someone sniffle over and over and over again, but I also know how gross it is to hear people blow their nose. So I'm probably going to mute the stream real quick to go over to the bathroom, and then I will be back after I'm done weaving this one in so I can have something completed. But I'm hoping that, honestly, I don't know. It's been really tense lately, and I'm hoping maybe it'd be nice if I could get, say, 100 white squares done today. That would be nice. I definitely want to be at the 10% completed mark because that means that over the course of 8 days, I've completed already 1/10 of the blanket in terms of making the squares. And then I have the blocking set coming today. Oh yeah, so I'm getting the blocking set coming today. I think that's what I originally started out with mentioning in the video, but I'm finally getting a set to block squares with because I want this to look really nice for my brother. But after they're done blocking, I am planning on using some of these live stream things to connect the squares for rows. So let me explain what I mean by that. When I get them finished blocking, I'm going to do the 41 squares there so I have a strip. One of the strips is completed. And then I will be able to do the other strip. And then so on and so forth until we finally get. So that'll probably help direct how I want to make the squares instead of just making all the white ones and then making all the yellow ones. And I'll be like, oh, well, let's see. I finished this row and I finished this. What? What?
Nothing. Just listening to the song downstairs.
Okay, then why don't you go downstairs and keep listening to it?
But
Stay there. Stay So when my son wanted to show me, there's this string in this little plastic ornament that his school did 2 years ago. And it's supposed to be their height at that time of Christmas. So not last Christmas, but the Christmas before, that was his height. And he had taken it out of the little container and he was like, wow, I've really grown a lot. I was like, yeah, that's kind of how it works. Anyway, we've got another one done. So this is going to be 85. Okay. Just going to go thread this one in and then I'm going to mute and I will be right back. All right. Weave in time. There we go. We're getting close to 8%. All right. I don't normally have so much time to crochet though, and then we start our year-end close process at work, which will go on for about 2 months, which means I'll be working most weekends, almost all the nights, unpaid overtime. Such a delight. But that's okay. It's okay until I get to get out of school. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Yeah, I definitely prefer the other way I was doing it. I mean, this is fast to start, but weaving in a magic circle or magic ring is definitely a lot easier than weaving in your first slip stitch. And see, that's the thing that I find interesting is you have these people who they show the tutorials and they're like, you start with a magic ring and they show you how to do a magic ring and then they just move on. They're like, boy, if you don't know how to do a magic ring and you're like a beginner, they're watching it for the first time, you can show them how to do it the other way. All right, so it's number 70. And by the other way, I mean where you make your slip knot and then you do your chain 4 and then you go back into that first one. Like, let me see, which one is this? Is this this is a slip knot starter, right? I started this by doing a slip knot, chaining 4, going back into that first chain and doing my did my standing single crochets, my 2 standing single crochets to give the appearance of a double crochet, and then around, right? I may not have done it with this one. Oh yeah, I'm special. 2 standing single crochets is when you do a magic ring. If you're not doing a magic ring, you'll just do your chain 4 single crochet or double crochet into that first chain. But the thing is like I have a gap now, right? I have a hole. I don't want to have a hole there. And one thing, for whatever reason, I don't know why people don't show it more, especially for the beginners, because it took me a very long time for me to master the magic ring. But so this is the wrong side of the work. This is the right side of the work, right? On the wrong side of the work, you just, wherever your knot is, continue to go in the direction. So like the knot is sticking out this way. So I'm just going to go to that top cluster right there. thread it through those guys, thread it through the next cluster. Sorry. Through the next cluster. So now I have it through 2 of the clusters. I'm going to thread it through the next cluster, and then I'm going to come out the side where the knot is. Right? So here's the knot right there. I'm going to take this, thread it through here, come out to the knot. I'd actually like to go through the knot, which will really help me with this. Then I pull it tight. See? There's like no hole now. This is about the hole that you're going to get with a magic ring if you do this with a magic ring. Now, it's not done yet because if I snip it, it's going to end up losing that tension and it'll eventually go back to being wide. It won't drop anything, but still. So now I'm going to go over the knot. This isn't a tutorial, but I'm going to go over the knot and I'm just going to weave in a couple clusters the other way to help keep that tension, pulling it a little bit as I do this. There we go. Get this one in. As I said in my description, I've been trying to work on the corner-to-corner version of this blanket for over 2 years now. And I'd done a little unlisted live stream yesterday, and I sent the link to my brother, letting him know, hey, I haven't forgotten about it, I'm still working. He had forgotten that I had promised to do this. I say he, I should say they. It's one of those things. It's been over 30 years of your life. So anyway, yeah, they said that they had forgotten about it completely. So I could have just never finished it, but every time I complete any project at all, I'm like, you still have that one project that you told your brother you were going to do and you didn't do it. It's like it just sits there, and then it's in a because it's so big, it's in a laundry basket in my closet, and it's taking up way too much room because I do not have a big closet. So yeah. Okay, so that one's woven in. Now I get to treat myself by making a new one. And we're at almost 8%. All right, so this is where I'm doing the magic ring, and I'm doing the standing single crochets, where I do a single crochet, and then you go into that first bump. Next one of these things I'll show on the screen, or show to the camera as best I can. 3. There he goes, listening to zombies again. Man, he likes that song. All right, so we're at 9. Tighten that up just a little. There we go. Okay, that's 12. Had to stop myself a couple times from accidentally snipping it here. Almost at 7% completed too. That's nice. I'm very visual. Like, I like data. I like statistics and seeing things in a more visual manner instead of like just tracking it in my head. So it is very nice to see it laid out like this. Very motivating, I would guess. Oh, it was pretty cool. So I play Pokemon Go, and I'm at the level where I can nominate points of interest in real life to be a waypoint in the Niantic game. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a Pokemon Go Pokestop. They have a couple other games which also have real life points of interest for those that don't enjoy Pokemon Go, but kind of like the augmented reality aspect of those games. But I nominated one near my house. It's within walking distance, right? I don't know how people can get lucky enough to nominate a Pokestop at their house and get it approved. But close-ish to our house, there's a place. But anyway, so I wrote up a little blurb and I took the picture and I got a notification yesterday that they were going to turn it into a or turn it into a waypoint. And they, of course, said in their email that they can't guarantee what game it would show up in, but that, it would still be a stop. So, yeah, I got it. And later in the day, I looked, and sure enough, now I have a Pokestop that's within walking distance of the house, and it is a legitimate point of interest. There's a plaque, and they talk about the history of it. I don't want to give too much away because that's way too easy to figure out where I live once I do. So, but yeah. All right, one end woven in, weave in the ends as you go, weave in the ends as you go. It will be very slow, just weave in the ends as you go. So future you doesn't hate past you. Just weave in the ends as you go. There we go. And one more trip around. All right. This will make it to 8%. All right. 8% completed. So we go to 86 and 72. 8%. All right. I did it. All right. And then when I weave this one in, I should be 7% completed. So I'm on a roll. Go. Oops. Oh, that'll be fine. Anyway, yeah, I'm probably I'm gonna try and limit my live streaming, my public live streaming to an hour a day, when I have the ability to do so. I'll probably, especially during the year-end close season, if I do any streaming at all, it'll be unlisted because my kids will be around. Go. Yeah. Nope. Tighten. This way again, through the knot. All right, and then back the other way to secure that. All righty, all nice and good. Okay, that's another one woven in. That should put me at the 7% mark. So completed, 73. All right. There we go. Oh, sorry, it's a bad habit. Okay. I do kind of want to just keep weaving in ends right now. Kids don't go back to school next week. I gotta work Monday, Tuesday, half a day Wednesday, and then I have to work Friday. Which, I mean, everybody's got to work Friday. But not everybody, of course. But statistically speaking, white collar workers, and yeah, white collar workers at least, probably also some blue collar workers will be working. Those that work Monday through Friday will probably be working Friday, unless they took time off. Which reminds me, actually, once I'm done weaving in a few more and I stop the stream, I gotta go look up flights. Split the string. Oh, is this a magic ring? Oh, this one was a magic ring. Yay! Some of these ones I started out with magic rings and I just didn't weave them in. So I'm so happy to see a magic ring finally. So then I don't have to go as far around. I just go through one cluster in the same direction as the string, and then I bring it back about 2.5 clusters. So that's a lot faster. All right, that's another one woven in. That's me at 74. Go. Boom. Yep, not a magic ring. Boo, past me, boo. Last night I did it a few while I was out visiting my second youngest brother. And I wonder why I honked. That's weird. It's really weird. There's actually a lot of car traffic right now. It's weird because I'm not seeing any on the road. All right, now go the other way. Almost done. There we go. Leave this one in. Car went that way. Okay. There we go. Another one bites the dust. Gotta be careful. Can't sing it because if you sing it, then you get copyright strike. Because you know you sound just like Freddie Mercury. All right. There we go. Boom. Alrighty. Another one. Oh yeah, magic ring. Hell yeah. I wonder, is the correct wording magic ring or magic circle? I feel like it's could be both. I guess a ring. So a ring would mean that it's a circle, but you would technically not tighten it anymore. And I guess the circle is also a fixed spot. These aren't. I would say these are more like a magic ring. They're not a perfect circle. Okay. Come on. All right. Another thing I don't like lately is the infiltration of very obvious AI videos. Like obviously AI. And you have people in the chat or the comments who are like, oh, they're reacting like it's a real thing. And honestly, I feel like they're bots. I feel like they're bots that are just interacting with it to increase the engagement so more people can see it. And then people who have a brain are like, yo, this is AI, which is causing more engagement, which is inadvertently generating more money for these basically AI slot farms. Another one done. I also have noticed, I feel like there's been a rise in AI voiceovers, not like Microsoft Sam type voiceovers. I actually like those, like voice to text things, text to voice, I should say, text to speech. There we go, TTS. It's like where they're attempting to sound like they're human, and there's some that are very, very obviously, oh, this is a robotic, this is a computer generated voice because of the halting and the way it sounds. And but there's other ones that like you gotta listen for a couple minutes and you're kind of like, this doesn't sound like a normal human's way of like there's some inflections, but the inflections are always the same every time. And it's not like it's a hyper interest video where they're talking about the transmission of Chevy cars to where the person might be like, that's something that they're used to talking about all the time. It's like, here's a top 10 list of something, something, and they have the same inflection on every word when they're talking about, like, the same word has the same inflection every single time. And they might try to get more warmth and variability in the voice that they do, but it falls flat, in my opinion. But it just, I end up just leaving those videos. I don't even, it's only on Facebook where it's clear that like they're trying to prey on the older generation. Those are the only ones where I'm like, yo, dude, it's AI. But if it's something on YouTube, I just move on with my life. Okay, there's another one done. Oh shoot, did I mark this one or not? Okay, well I would have to, we're gonna find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all right, 9. So yeah, cool. 77. All right, got enough time. I got 7 more minutes roughly on the stream. So I'm gonna see if I have any more magic ring ones. Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. I think this one. Yep, magic ring. Magic ring. Nope. 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 Okay, let me get those 2 magic ring ones out the way. And I might have enough time for one more. Oh, am I listening to Takedown? So when we started watching K-pop Demon Hunters and the song Golden came on, we listened to the song a couple times, and my husband comes over to me and he's like, I think if you want to hear this song, because I've been going through some personal revelations, and it is a song that resonates for the situation at hand without giving too much information away, too much personal information away. But yeah, I think it was a very good song, and there's a lot of parallels in that movie that can be drawn to the situation that I had going on. I still have going on, but yeah. Yay, this one's done. Neat. Put that on my string. Put that on my string. All right. Here comes 79. Here comes 79. Here comes 79. 79 way. 709. Tertiary adjunct of Unimatrix 01. I adopted a tree in Wisconsin, a national park, that has the name 7 of 9 tertiary adjunct of Unimatrix 01. I was 9, and that was the name I gave it. Not Sparkles the tree. No. 7 of 9 tertiary adjunct of Unimatrix 01, which is, I guess you would say, her full title from Star Trek Voyager. Her and Data were my favorite characters growing up. But I also really liked Worf and LaForge. Geordi LaForge. I know why. But for whatever reason, I seem to resonate with the characters that were different from the other characters. You know, Worf was a Klingon, the first Klingon to serve in Starfleet. Or the Federation, I should say. The Federation. I said Starfleet, like an idiot. The Federation. You've got Geordi, who has can't see the world the way everybody else does. He sees things differently. And then you've got Data, who's is learning how to handle and interact with, humanoids and trying to figure out what emotions are, why people do what they do. And then 7 of 9 as well, having been isolated from humans at a young age and also has to go through that development and growth as she gets older. And makes a whole lot of sense to me now as to why those guys were my favorites growing up. Yeah. All right. Well, we're down to just a few minutes left. A minute, basically. And I'm going to finish this one so I have at least 80 white ones completed. Be very nice. All right. Through the knot, back the other way. Gotta make a hat for my daughter's friend. Gotta make a hat for my husband's grandmother. All right, that one's in. Maybe I'll be able to finish one of the projects today. I really and the thing is now I have so many projects that I want to do all at once. I want to work on this one, but then I also want to work on my son's weighted blanket, but I also want to work on the hat, but I also want to work on the heating pad. So I just have to kind of allot myself some time on each, and then I feel better because I haven't just let one sit aside all day. All right, and there we have it. Boom. Not yet at 8% because I'd have to finish the remaining 6, but I'm sure I'll have that done before the end of the day. Yeah, here we go. Here's our the stack of black, the stack of pink, and the necklace of 80 white squares, which I am now at a multiple of 20. So the 80th one gets one of these. And I'll keep track in the stack in case I do happen to lose count on the little tracker up there. But yeah. Alrighty, all dunesies. Pretty good. I don't remember how many. I think I basically just wove some in and maybe made 2, but not bad. Adios.